Hola, hola a todos, bienvenidos. Estamos checando si nos escuchan. Ya estamos por aquí conectados. Ya nos ven. Vamos a verificar porque ya vimos que está aquí el video. Listo. Ok, parece que sí estamos live, ¿verdad? A ver. Bueno, parece que ya estamos live. Entonces, pues vamos a empezar. Listo, ya me confirmaron que estamos live. Entonces, les doy la más cordial bienvenida a nuestro primer día del Hey Week. El día de hoy tenemos una plática que se enfoca en los caminos hacia universidades top en el extranjero. La plática va a ser en inglés. Únicamente estoy dando la bienvenida para que sepan de qué se trata. Ya por ahí nos vieron en redes sociales, vieron que estuvimos empujando bastante por este evento, ya que queremos darles información de calidad a ustedes, queremos que estén pues mejor preparados a la hora de tomar decisiones para su futuro, ¿no? Entonces, pues me voy a presentar y después de presentarme cambiamos a inglés, ¿no? Mi nombre es Maru Mora, yo soy directora de Hey México. En Hey somos especialistas en educación superior y high school en el extranjero. Tenemos más de 200 convenios con colegios high school en el extranjero y 92 universidades también en el extranjero, ¿no? Entonces, nuestra intención es que una vez que tú te acerques a Hey, siempre encuentres una opción para ti. Contamos con más de 15 años de experiencia y también, pues, esto también lo veremos aquí reflejado en el día de hoy, en el panel que tenemos el día de hoy, ya que tenemos invitados que tienen también más de 15 años en la industria, ¿no? Entonces, pues ahora sí, sin más preámbulo, cambiamos a inglés. Y welcome to our first Hey Day from our Hey Week. As we have mentioned before, this day we're going to talk about your pathway to top universities. We have chosen this subject because it frequently happens to us that students or parents come to us and they want their son or daughter to study in top universities, but they don't know what it takes to apply to a top university, no? So that's why we have chosen this subject, and also that's why we have today this group of experts in the area. And I will start by presenting them, no? We have here with us today Dr. Julian Davies, who is head of Cambridge College, and student Agustin, who will help us with his testimonial. Julian, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, thank you very much, Maru. So I am Julian Davies, and I am the principal of a sixth form college in Cambridge in the UK, the college behind me. I've been principal for 18 years, a very long time, and my college is a specialist international college. So we educate students from all over the world, including from Mexico and other countries in South America. And we see our role as helping students move from high school in their own country to university in the UK and other countries. So we provide the bit in the middle, if you like, and I think we do that very successfully. Thanks, Maro.
You do, you do. And we also have Agustin, who is a student who, well, now is attending Cambridge University, right? Agustin, can you introduce yourself? We will start only with your name, and then we will go into your presentation, if that's okay.
Yeah. So, hi, I'm Agustin. Right now, I'm first year student at Cambridge University doing natural sciences, and I was born in Uruguay.
Perfect, thank you. Then our next our guest. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the presentation, but we also have Martin Stefanani, who is Executive Director of Recruitment at Brooks Group. I don't know, Martin, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself. Martin, I think your microphone is off.
Hi.
Now
Can you hear me now? All right.
Yes.
So hi, my name is Martin Staffolani. I'm the Executive Director of Brooks Education Group. We have schools in Victoria, Canada, an IB school in Victoria, Canada, another one in Cambridge, England, and 2 schools in Russia, one in Moscow and one in St. Petersburg.
Thank you, Martin. Our third guest is Fred Daher, who is also Recruitment and Marketing Manager for Amerigo.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Fred. I'm taking care of all the recruitment and marketing efforts on Latin America. Amerigo is a group of 9 top high schools between US and Canada. And I'm here to help and provide students who want to enter top universities in North America, especially.
Thank you, Fred. And we also have William Touchard, who is CEO for AWES Education.
Hi, how are you guys? Nice to meet you, everyone. I'm William Touchard. I'm the CEO of AWES Education. We are a boarding school in Spain from grades 8 to 12, and we are with the same objective, looking for the best colleges all over the world, not only in Spain.
Well, thank you, each one of you, for your presentation. Well, we're going to start with today's webinar, no? So our subject for today is the best pathways to attend top universities abroad, no? We would like to focus in 4 aspects of this preparation, no? Because as we mentioned before, sometimes students graduate from high school and they do not know what it takes to apply to top universities, no? And sometimes it's already too late because they didn't prepare in the English level, or they didn't take a special preparation, or they didn't focus on improving their soft skills, or in the way of taking better decisions, finding their true vocation. So today, what we want to do is help you with more information. So if you're still in high school, you can take better decisions in order to apply to top universities, no? So we will start with Dr. Julian Davies. I would like to ask you, can you please explain to us what is the A-level system and the foundation program, and why is it important for students who want to apply to universities in the UK?
Lovely, thank you. I'd be happy to talk about that. So, as I mentioned, the school behind me is my school in Cambridge, and this is what we do in the school. We have about 450 children from around about 48 different countries, all of them hoping to go to a university of quite high standing, usually in the UK, but also across the world, in the US, in Europe, and so on. And there are 2 routes that we offer children. So I'm going to share you now a presentation so you can see the names of the 2 routes that we offer in my school. And I'll talk you through the A-level route and the foundation route and compare the 2 to see what they involve and what that means for you, what it can do for you, where you can go. So A-level is, in the UK, it's the standard course that students who are in the UK do. So when you're aged 16, you move to the last stage of high school, which is called year 12 and year 13, and you sit your A-level exams at the end of year 13. So if you like, British people do A-level. This is what I did myself. It is a course that lasts for 2 years. It's academic, and you do 3 or 4 subjects only. The reason that you do 3 or 4 is because it's quite in depth. So it's quite a difference to some of the alternative courses in that the rationale is you do usually only 3 subjects that you choose, but in some depth. So for example, if you wanted to study medicine, you would choose chemistry, biology, mathematics, perhaps with a 4th, maybe physics. If you wanted engineering, maybe it'd be maths, further maths, and physics again. So you see the idea. It's quite specialized. It's very academic, but it is the standard course in the UK. We think of it as the gold standard in the UK. Foundation, in contrast, is really only taken by international students who are in the UK, who've come to the UK for studies. So about a quarter of the students in my school take the foundation rather than A-level. It is a shorter course. It allows access to UK universities, and it really is designed for university preparation. It's got more breadth. So you do more subjects, but in less depth. Okay, so there's quite a distinct difference. One is a longer, more academic course. One is a shorter course for international students only, for only 1 year. Okay, so A-level, you choose the subjects. As I mentioned, if you wanted medicine, engineering, then your school would counsel you on which subjects to choose. It is the gold standard, and you can go to any university you wish, anywhere, really. It is a very highly regarded qualification across the world. For example, Cambridge University, Oxford University, LSE, UCL, and Imperial, the G5 there, and in fact, any university in the UK and beyond. So it gives you great flexibility. It's also a standalone qualification. So you could put it on your CV or your resume in future years, the A-levels that you did. In contrast, going back to foundation, you choose a pathway which has subjects within it. So you say, well, I want business pathway or engineering pathway. It's examined by the school, not by an external awarding body. And this perhaps is the most important difference. It's accepted by most UK universities, not all UK universities. And I'll explain why now, but that is the key difference in terms of what this course can do for you. A-level gives you access pretty much to any course in any university. The foundation gives you a restricted range of offerings. Still very good, but not at the very top. So you wouldn't be able to go to Cambridge or Oxford. So I'm going to show you why that is, just very quickly in terms of the structure. So this isn't too complicated. I'll talk you through. Start at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the terms. There are 6 terms over the course of 2 years. You start at the bottom, and as you go up from year 1 to year 2, it gets harder, allowing you to get to top universities. You can see with foundation, you've only got 1 year. There are only 3 terms. So it's half the course. What does that mean? Well, as you go up, it gets harder. So if I look at the colors, so the rainbow colors going up from red, orange, yellow, green, I'm trying to illustrate it gets harder as you go up the screen. You can see with A-level, 6 terms, increasing difficulty. With foundation, this is what the pattern is. So if you see, you do some of the easier work, then you do a bit more of the easier work, but not as much. Then it gets a little harder, but you can't get to the same level of detail on foundation as you can with A-level because you have less time. So the harder work in A-level, in purple, you can't do on a foundation course. And that is why Cambridge University, Oxford University, Harvard in the US, they will insist that you do the A-level route. The foundation route won't be suitable because you can't access the harder level work. Just to finish off, I'll show you some of the universities that our students go to. So this is a list. You may know Bath, Bristol, Birmingham, King's, some of the famous universities in the UK. It's possible to go to those with A-level or foundation. In our school, these are the universities students get to, but they had to do A-level. You can see in the last 5 years, a very impressive list: Cambridge, Oxford, what we call the G5 universities in the UK, the very top, the elite, if you like, the Ivy League list for the UK. So that's a very quick summary to show you A-level is the standard 2-year course. It's academic, it has a lot of breadth. You go a long way to that higher level of detail, and you can go to any university, depending on your grades, of course. Foundation, just for international students, 1 year only. You can get to very good universities, but not to the very top. Okay, now I thought it would be nice for you to hear from one of my former students, because actually it's been a long time since I did my A-levels, many years ago. So I thought it'd be good to hear from somebody who did their A-levels very recently in the building behind me. And he can tell you his story. So I'd be very happy to pass over now to my former student, Agustin LaRusso. Agustin, over to you.
Thank you, Julian. I'll share my screen then. So yeah, as I said, I'm a first-year student at university, and I specialized in science. So when you're applying to one of the top universities in the UK, you need to think, how can I get in? Because everybody who applies to that university is going to be doing A-levels. You just need to prove that you're better than them. That's the crude reality. And the way you do that is by showing them that you're not only able to keep up with the coursework, but to thrive on it. And that is, you have to spend extra time outside your A-level studies, developing your other skills. So A-level is the foundation. Definitely. It's a very strong foundation. And once you get into university, you build that from there. And that's what I did. I'm doing sciences. And so I began studying maths, further maths, chemistry, and physics. But I worked above my A-levels. And the main thing that I focused on is science Olympiads, in particular chemistry, because that's my passion. So with chemistry, physics, and math Olympiads, I spent 3 to 4 months preparing outside of my A-level studies, and I did pretty well. I ranked among one of the top students in the country, and that allowed me to take part in a summer training camp inside of the university where I built connections. And so when I took my interview, the people who interviewed me knew me from before, which is a huge advantage. But that's not all. I also took part in an engineering project called the Engineering Education Scheme. That's one of the options I had at the time, where instead of developing my technical knowledge, I also developed my team working skills and my presentation skills, something that becomes very helpful when you're in a high pressure situation, like an interview at one of the top universities in the world. And finally, I also took part in a role called the house captain, which is a role within Abbey, in which you get to interact with your fellow students and motivate them to take part in house activities. That was in my first year, where the course of A-level, as Julian said, was the easier bit. And on the second year, it got much harder. So I had to spend more time on it. I don't regret it because it was a very fun course to take part in. And after I completed my university application, which was around January, I had the other half of my year in which I decided to go all in chemistry competitions. Chemistry competitions, I cannot stress that enough, is one of the main things that got me in all of my choices, because it's a very strong way to show that you're a very strong candidate that really likes the subject, because the basic requirements for doing well in those things is not only being good with exams and being good at solving problems, you also need to have enough commitment to grab books and read them all the way through, something that a lot of students do, but very few. And after all of that intense training, I got a gold medal, which is top 13 in the world, which is a very good achievement. And honestly, something that I wouldn't have done had I not taken A-levels. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Wow, Agustin, congratulations. I always get really excited when I hear all of these stories, because even if I haven't met you before, when I hear your story and I see how young you are, I cannot stop imagining how many things you can do in the future. So congratulations for what you have achieved. And I really hope that you have a successful life. And I wish you all the best. And thank you for being here with us today, you know. And I think that you also mentioned something very, very important, no? The idea of this webinar is to give students and parents more information in order to take better decisions. But you also said something really important, no? It's not only about getting into universities, getting there, but being also successful and also after university, no? And I think all of the information that we will be sharing today, it's also taking us to this place, no? We want you to be successful in life as you are right now, and I'm really happy to hear your story. So I wish you all the best, and thank you for being here with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then, well, Dr. Julian and Agustin gave us really, really, really great information. But we still have a lot of information to continue sharing with you. So this brings me to my next question. My next question is for Martin. Martin, can you explain to us what is the IB program and why is it great for students to study this program?
Okay, let me share my screen first, and I will explain a little bit about the IB program. To put things in context, the IB was born 52 years ago in Geneva, Switzerland. And why was it born there? Because basically there were over 20 offices from the United Nations established in Switzerland, which was a neutral country during the Second World War. And so the United Nations had many offices there. So the thing that happened during that time, it was that many diplomats established there, they went with their families, so they educated their children in Switzerland. So the United Nations basically sponsor a program where students taking an international baccalaureate program can become global citizens, good communicators, people that are there to change with positive outcomes for real life problems, let's say social, political, or environmental problems. So in that spirit, sponsored by the United Nations, the IB was born. So the approach, and why do I bring this into context? The approach is just to not only help the students grow academically, but also as global citizens, as contributors of the future. So basically the program has right now over 5,000 schools all over the world, almost 2 million students at this moment. And it's basically managed by Switzerland. So the IB curriculum, and let me show you another screen, and I hope you can see it, has these pillars. So it's basically meant to be for international students to become open-minded, caring, risk-takers, balanced, reflective, principled, good communicators, thinkers, knowledgeable, and inquirers. Basically is like educating a son or a daughter of a diplomat to be ready for university. So basically the program is divided in what it's called a primary years program, then the secondary year programs that is called middle years program, and then the IB diploma program, which is for grade 11 and 12, the 2 last years. So during those 2 years, and let me show you another screen, students take programs in different areas. So they have a basic areas to cover. Number one is language. So they take English, then they take a foreign language, then social sciences, which is individual and societies, experimental sciences, which is usually chemistry, physics, and biology, mathematics, arts, physical education, and also other areas. And when I'm touching on other areas, I would like to focus a little bit more on this one. They have different subjects like theory of knowledge, which is critical thinking, which used to be for us philosophy, but now is critical, developing the critical thinking skills into real life issues and how they can contribute to that. Then CAS is creativity, action, and service. So students completing the diploma program, they need to take one physical activity, they need to take an art program, and they need to do social service. So this is part of the curriculum, and they need to comply with that as 20% of their curriculum. And finally, during the last 2 years, they need to complete an extended essay. The extended essay is what I call like a mini thesis. The students need to choose a topic and they need to develop that topic throughout the last 2 years of their diploma program in grades 11 and 12. So basically, they're not only completing the subjects in different areas, that some of them, the high level ones, are credited into universities, so they don't have to redo them at university level. So it's direct entrance for those credits that they take during the last 2 years for certain subjects in high level intensity, but also they will learn how to write a paper at a university level, so that when they enter university, they don't have to learn how to write a paper. They have already done it. They have done their extended essay ahead of time. So as you can see, the IB program is more of a global curriculum that helps the students develop not only academically, but humanly as well. Again, they will have to become critical thinkers, good communicators. They will have to learn more than one language. They will have to learn how to work in multicultural environments, and again, offer real life solutions to today's problems in politics, socially, environmentally. So students completing the IB diploma program actually gain access to top universities, and I would love to show some of our students in Canada where they gain entrance overseas. We have schools in the United States, as you can see here, New York University, or they can go to Imperial College in London, or McGill University in Canada, University of Toronto, UBC, University of Victoria, Warwick in England, etc. So basically, they are advancing throughout the last 2 years, not only at first level on the first year of university, but they're becoming a well-rounded student with practical solutions to today's problems. So that would be the highlight of the IB program.
Wow, Martin, thank you very much for the explanation. I think, well, right now we have given students and parents a lot of information. They need to start taking notes because all of this is very important, and it will be very special for each of their pathways, for if they want to go to a certain university, certain career. So now is the time for them to start planning, I think that right now we have a lot of information to digest. So before we go to our next speaker, I would like to present to our students and parents some videos so that we can put this information into a video and make it a little bit easier to digest. If you just give us 1 second so we can put these videos and you can watch them while you digest all of the information, that everything has been really, really important and really, really Can you see the videos now? No, oh no, I think they're loading now. Okay. Perfect. Can you hear me now back? I apologize for the dogs barking because it always happens, no? When you're in a webinar, dogs start barking and it makes a little bit of noise, but I hope you can hear me well. Well, we have learned a lot of information today. We spoke about A levels, IB, foundation program, which are very important pathways or programs to prepare students to go or to attend top universities, no? But as we have mentioned before, preparation or grades are not everything or everything that universities are looking for. No, they are also looking for a well-rounded person, like Martin was saying. No, so one of the most important things that universities want to see in students is their soft skills. No, that's why I have our next speaker, who is Fred, and I want to ask him, what are the soft skills and why are they especially important for those students who want to apply to top universities?
So hi Maru, again, hi everyone. So soft skills, there is a lot of discussion, and soft skills are really famous. If you type on Google soft skills, there are certain articles that say there is more than 20, some that there are 7, but doesn't matter how many soft skills we can talk about, but all of them are the capacity that you can have in terms of your interrelation skills and your character towards communicating and acting in a group of people. So soft skills are more and more important in the world, because the jobs that these generations will have most probably will not only depend on the hard skills. Hard skills are the ones, the technical information that you can get on studying, for example, geometry. But the soft skills are how you use your ability to communicate and interact with the others. So examples of soft skills, Martin said really well, like critical thinking is something that you have to develop. It's a skill. It's not something that you can go with a whiteboard and learn. You have to practice and develop this kind of skills. Another one that he said really well is the communication skills. So it's really important for you to be able to communicate with the others. That's why we can go with a list of more than 20, because if you start imagine what are the challenges a student will face, not only on their future life, I mean work life, but also on top universities. Imagine the level we saw Augustine, how much he knows about chemistry, and think about the level of conversation you must have with a student like that. So that's why soft skills are so important already on university, and why universities are looking more and more to that part, their evaluation, because this is the reflection of the job that the world of jobs these kids will face on the future. And you can start preparing before you think, like even on secondary school and high school, you can start developing your soft skills. So examples of soft skills that you can develop, for example, teamwork. Teamwork, you can develop teamwork, playing sports, doing many extracurricular activities. And sometimes we forget about how important is teamwork. Actually, my cell phone knows more history than the best teacher of history of the school. So having the information is not everything. You need how to use it. You need to know how to use it in a very accurate way that will provide difference for the future. So I said teamwork, but I can say another one that is really important, especially for us Latins. During thinking about communication skills, we need to be more active listeners. We love to talk. We love to start talking about everything, but sometimes we forgot how important is to really listen. And this is something that you need to develop. And some of the people have some soft skills that already are natural. You have that more, it's easier for you to develop some of these skills. Some of them are harder. That's why when you need to choose when you have to choose a school, if you really want to enter a top university, remember that these soft skills will gonna be asked for you to be able to join a group of future leaders, and how they see these soft skills, because it's a very common question, how the top universities will see that you have or you don't have a soft skill. That's why nowadays it's more and more important for you to have not only good grades. Good grades is a very good filter, is the first filter that you pass, your grades, your GPA, for example, but also 45% of the evaluation process on the most selective schools in US, for example, are not related to your marks or to your GPA, are the recommendation letters. Imagine that an art teacher writing about your skills on communication, on leadership, etc., etc. So recommendation letters. The second one that they really look into is an essay, like writing a page about yourself and where you want to be in the future means a lot. With 45, 43 years old, it's hard to say what you did in life and what you plan to do ahead. Imagine with 17. So if you prepare and you do a good essay, it means a lot also about your soft skills. And the third one that they really look into, apart from these two, are the extracurricular. And I really recommend, especially the parents, to forget a little bit about only tests and exams. It's also crucial that during the high school years and secondary education, that your kids, that your teenagers keep on doing their extracurricular activities, sports, music, theater, all the activities that they like to do and develop another side of the brain is crucial for you to develop your soft skills and also know more about yourself. So if you do drama classes, of course you speak better than someone that haven't done it. If you do sports, you are more kind of a leader than someone that never had to pass a ball to other to make a goal. And we can say a lot more about it. I just recommend, especially for parents, again, that soft skills are developed in the very, very basic activities sometimes that you don't think your kid is learning. Actually, probably he's learning more than just a simple class on school. So the combination of good academic skills and your level of knowledge of your own soft skills can put you on the top universities. I think, and in Amerigo, the company that I work for, we work with 9 schools in US. That is not only about having good GPA and achieving good grades. It's much more than it. You have to develop yourself And there's a word in Spanish, we're speaking English, but there's a word in Spanish that I love that is called vocation, vocación, like to find your pathway, to find your natural skills will make the difference in the future. 46% of the jobs that this generation will have doesn't even exist right now. So why we are so worried about being an engineer or being an architect or being a doctor? Most probably, you're gonna do a job that is the combination of all the two. And to succeed on this future challenge, as much as you know about yourself, you're gonna be more successful. That's it, Maru. I think it's too much. I love this subject, sorry.
No, wonderful. And thank you very much. I really love this because we can all like show our passion. I think this shows why you are working with Amerigo and why Martin is working with Brooks and why Julian is with ABTLD and William with AWIX, because there's a passion inside us. No, we really truly believe that education can change our world and it's the best investment, because otherwise we wouldn't be here. No, and like you said, that's also part of your true vocation. No? Once you find what you like, you will do it, and every day and happily, because that's what you like and what you believe in. No, so thank you very much also for your information. We will watch also a small video while I'll check if there are any questions, because we have been giving a lot of information, a lot of passion, a lot of important data. So let me check if we have any questions while we watch the video, right?
The Amerigo High School experience is truly transformative, taking students on an educational journey that they can tailor to their own individual skills and talents. It's about so much more than grades and test scores. It helps students to learn about themselves through a shared experience with others.
Perfect. I was checking and apparently we don't have any questions. We might have confused them a lot or given them a lot of information, or we have been really clear that everything is really clear. But we hope that once students or parents watch this information, they maybe can later contact us and ask something that they maybe didn't understand or want to have more information about. No, this webinar is going to be in YouTube for all of the times. So if you have also someone who didn't have the time to watch it, they can also watch it later in YouTube, no? So before we watched the video, we were talking about true vocation. And this brings me to my next guest, William. As we have mentioned before, a very important step during this process, applying to top universities, is taking decisions and choosing their true vocation. No? How does a school like yours, or how can a school give students tools to make this easier for them in the application process?
Not only for universities, also for life, you got to find your true vocation, and that's a very, very difficult point. You know, there's a lot of people that didn't find it yet. So boarding school experience really helps you to find this true vocation. Today we have so many different options. We have these beautiful schools in Amerigo, we have Brooks, and all of these schools, they are offering you the quality, the security, the experience, and you are in an environment who helps you to find your true vocation. Not only talking about the, the activities that you have there, talking about the competitivity, talking about the environment that you have there, the teachers, and the coworkers. So you have so many different options to prove. And obviously, educational excellence is important. Being in a competitive environment, we're gonna help you to find your best position. And obviously, when you have some abilities, we're trying to exploit the abilities. For example, if you are an athlete, we have so many different options. We find a lot of profiles who are inspired by sports. For example, we have like options like soccer, basketball, tennis, beach tennis, paddle, karate, kickboxing, taekwondo, and we have like 10 or 15 more, and I'm pretty sure that the rest of the schools can offer you these different options. So I think that that kind of options really help you to find out, you know, different sports, not only focusing in one of them. So at the same time, you can try different activities. So all of the boarding schools that are here today, they are offering you so many options talking about activities. For example, if you are inspired by theater or music, dancing, chorus, piano, so you have so many different options to explore what are your passions. So when you're trying to find the most important thing in life, which is sense of purpose, so you got to try different things. So when you are having the experience in a boarding school, you can try so many different things because you have all the things easier than the rest because you have your time and your schedule organized for, you know, having these different options. So I think that boarding school experience makes easier for the students for trying so many different things. If we are talking about sports, if we are talking about extracurricular activities, or maybe if we are talking about so many different like options that you can learn. For example, if you want to be I don't know, a businessman, you can have an option of learning about it before being in a college. So the thing is that finding your true vocation, it's so much easier when you have the chance of trying so many different things and you are living in an environment who helps you, who push you to try new things. And I think it is important to be competitive at the same time, because when you are in a boarding school, you're competing with the rest. So learning that kind of things, being a young man or young woman, so you have you are much competitive than the rest of the students that are coming from other places. So at the same time, when you're exploring your abilities, you are showing, you're exposing for the universities, because in all our schools you have the chance to be promoted for a university. So I think our alternative boarding school experience, my experience, Brooke's experience, or America's experience, they are helping you a lot to find your passion. And I think that it's a very, very important thing in life. When you're finding your true vocation, you're finding your passion, you will have so much easier the rest of the journey.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you, William. And sometimes I think if I had this information when I was younger, I would have taken different decisions maybe, or not, because I think right now we have, or students have a lot of channels to get more information. And I think it makes it easier to take decisions, because for me, for example, I started my international education journey when I was in university. I went for a semester, then another summer. But when I think in students like Agustin, who have started so young, finding true passion, taking decisions, studying in another language, in another country, I cannot stop imagining what the next generations can do. No, and I think it's all because of the information they have right now, and also it's our job to create this awareness. No, that there's these possibilities for them to study abroad. It is not impossible. We just need to let them know what they need to make their dreams come true, no? So we have one more video. So if we can play this video while I check one more time if we have more questions. I think we have no more questions yet, but if we watch a video, I will check with detail. Perfect. So this was our video, and I checked, there are no questions yet, but we still have a couple of minutes. So I want to ask just to whomever wants to answer, why or what's the recommended time for this kind of preparation? If a student is thinking of studying at top universities, how much time is it required to prepare? Is it in the first year of high school, last year of high school, that too? Because we heard about A levels, we heard about IB, we were thinking about 2 years, but is it 2 years? Can they do it in 1 year? Can they do it in 3 years, 4 years? What's the recommended time that you would suggest for students who want to prepare for top universities? I don't know who wants to answer.
I'm happy to take that, Maro. So certainly for the UK, for our experience, we would recommend students prepare seriously in year 12. So that's when they are turning 17 years old. So it's the year before you sit your A-level exams or IB exams if you went with that path. And that gives you time to do some serious work on it. Agustin talked about the things he did in his first year. I would recommend you find information by reading. There's a great deal of information out there on YouTube, on many other places. It's a great place to start. But once you start getting a bit more serious and you've identified what your course is going to be, that's when you should start picking a few texts to read, maybe something that's heading towards university level, just to find out a bit more to see if it really is the course for you. That, I think, is the single best piece of advice, is read about your subject before you apply in year 12.
I think Fred has his
Well,
mind.
in my opinion, of course, depends a lot also on the student, what he's aiming for and the level of maturity to live alone and to be abroad for such an experience. But the earlier you start thinking about it, even your own country, in your home country, you can start already getting prepared for everything that we said here. So extracurricular activities, you can really start doing by your first years on school. You are already doing a lot of extracurricular activities. So you shouldn't stop. You should try and be as multitask as possible in the first years of education. And then when you come to grade 12, like Dr. Julian said, is when obviously you're gonna be more mature and you're gonna be ready to take further decisions. But honestly, I think that's one of the best jobs that Hey does, is to speak with you, have a chat, and try to develop a project to you and your family.
My answer. Oh no, you can
go.
go. You can go. You can go first, Martin. You can go first, Martin. I'll let you do it.
Thank you. I'm looking at different, aspects of your question. Number one, to comply with the credits. In order for them to get accredited within the first year of university, they need to comply with the last 2 years of high school, either for A levels or AP programs or IB diploma program. That's one thing. Then the language aspect is super important, English level. So they have to be at least at an IELTS 5.5 minimum to 6.5, and nowadays for some universities 7.0 in all bands. So it's very highly demanded, that they're fully fluent in English and academically doing very well. And also the exploration of their vocations before they actually enroll in grade 11 and 12, which is what Fred was mentioning, and also Alex. It's super important, because the sooner you know what you like and what you would like to be doing in your future, the more exposure you have at younger age, the better, because then you know what direction you're going to be given to your life ahead of time. So it makes the whole process a little bit smoother and easier towards the program and university that you're going to be applying. And then there is a big difference between Latin America educational systems and North America or the UK. I always say that it's almost like getting married and finding the couple that you want to marry with, choosing the program and choosing the university, because it's really a one-on-one matching. And then there's so many different aspects and requirements that universities take and take into account before admitting a student, that you need to really comply with those requirements ahead of time, and you need to be ready for that. And each university is a different world, so the sooner the better. But the good piece of news that I have for specifically Mexican students is that throughout the 18 years that I've been conducting interviews with the students, I can see how the students have changed dramatically, academically and in the English level, and also maturity in the last 5 years. I'm just doing interviews with students of age even 12, 13 years old. They already know what they want. Their English is really good, and they have been exposed to English since the first grade of kindergarten in Mexico. So they're doing really, really well. So there is a lot of groundwork that is being done in their own countries. Sorry, I just talked too much. I know.
I knew how to go first, Martin. No, yeah. As he said, as soon as they can, they can. Today the world is very competitive, so if you have the chance of having this kind of experience earlier, you could be more competitive. You could find earlier your passion, your sense of purpose, and I think that's very important. And if you can find what motivates you, you can explode it in this kind of experience, like a boarding school. For example, if you're an athlete, I think you're gonna need like 3 or 4 years before the college, because you need this exposure, and you need to learn about the culture. It is not only about grades, as Fred said. So you have so many different things to develop, and I think that kind of experience makes you more competitive, and you have better options.
Yeah, I agree with all of you. And some of you mentioned that the earlier that we start, it's the best, no? But we were discussing some programs that are offered abroad, no? So normally, especially parents in Latin America, they don't want to lose their son or daughter very young, no? So normally this happens in high school, no? Why would you say that this preparation is the best option if they study or they prepare for top universities abroad, in Canada, in Spain, in the UK? Why is it better? Already William said a little bit of the advantages and why, but can you give us more information about why is it better to study this, or what kind of benefits students get of studying abroad and preparing for university abroad?
Okay.
Come on, Fred. Let's do it, Fred.
No, come on. You can go first. Now it's your turn.
All right. So should I go? Okay. So I think one of the advantages is the cultural exposure to do it overseas. They learn a different way of doing things, and that takes a lot of learning and effort and adapting to a new culture. So, and secondly, the language acquisition while they're overseas, super important. As you can see, I learned the language at a later stage in my life, while if I had done it before, probably I wouldn't have the accent I have right now. But still, that doesn't matter as long as you become functional and you can, just go ahead in life and with your profession. But I think the sooner the better you get exposed. Language, culture, dealing with multicultural environments, that's super important. Soft skills, as Fred mentioned before.
Yeah, I just gonna add, I will not take too long, William, don't worry. Just gonna add about the soft skills, probably the number of activities you can do in your school and the number of activities you can do in this type of schools are really different. And how the school structure, like how the curriculum of the school was built, also makes a difference on the entire environment. William mentioned, like the entire school briefs about it. So it makes the difference in the end of the day. Just being there, you start briefing the importance of finding yourself there. So it's also a big difference being there or just studying a methodology. I think living the experience is really important in this regard.
I'm gonna try something different, and I'm gonna say something different. For me, it is very important to find your competitive side. When I was young, I was a former student in Spain, and I never learned about this competitivity that I learned in the US when I traveled for the first time when I was 14 years old. So I think that finding this competitivity, finding this place who can help you, who can push you to be better every day. So sometimes I don't know exactly. I know the Mexico system, for example, in Spain, we are not that competitive when we are in a young age. When we are in 8th, 9th grade, we are not talking about college. They are like, oh, you're talking about college? It's too early. So in places like the US or Canada, they are thinking about college when they are so young. So I think that learning about that culture thing, it's very important for internationals. So as soon as they can be in that environment, they will be more competitive for talking about top universities.
You know, I would add one more thing, and that is that if you do study overseas, so if you go to UK, for example, in the school, you'll be taught by largely people also from that country. So most of the teachers in the school behind me here, Abby, are from England, no, from the UK, and they've been to the UK universities. And you can't really beat that experience of having done it yourself. I did it myself twice, so I can talk to the students about my experience and what I've learned since then about the UK system. So I think it's a huge benefit actually to speak to the teachers who've actually done what you're trying to do themselves.
Great. Thank you very much for all of your comments. And well, I don't have any more questions, but I don't know if do you want to add something? We have here, I was trying to make the math, but I think that we have more than 60 years of experience here, because Martin was saying that he has been in the industry for 18 years, Fred about 16, Dr. Julian for another 15, and my 15 years, 10 years in with William. So we have more than 70 years of experience in education abroad or in education in general. I don't know if you want to add something that we didn't mention that you have seen in all of these years of experience that you would like to share with us today.
I would say one very simple thing. If there's one lesson that I've learned in my work with children, helping them go on in the world, it's simply to be ambitious, to actually to go for it, because these are the formative years for you. The decisions you make now, the amount you drive yourself, the opportunities you grasp, they're the things that form you. So be ambitious.
I would like to add two things. Number one, add another 12 years to that 70 math that you have done, the counting of the years. I've been 30 years in education right now. So, but in international recruitment for the last 18 years. So yeah, that's one thing. Secondly, as William and Fred said before, get exposed to extracurricular activities, because you never know where you can click with something you didn't know about yourself. That spark of genius is triggered sometimes by activities that you have never been exposed before. So I would say that the more exposure you get at younger age, the better.
Go ahead,
Go
William.
first,
Go
Fred.
ahead. I'll not take your
Okay,
place.
I'm going to talk about something that everyone is asking at home right now. How old are you, Martin? I'm just kidding.
54 in September, 53 now.
I was just joking. Yeah, I think that today, with all the situation, with all the pandemic situation that we are suffering right now in the world, all over the world, families are a little bit scared with that kind of experience. But I think that right now it's a very important moment to be different. Today we are in a very competitive world, and if you have the chance of being different, now different is better.
Yeah, I would say something similar regarding the pandemics, but going a little bit further, we have to think about like how much the technology has been developed in the last 5 to 10 years. Remember your cell phone 10 years ago, and think about what your cell phone does right now. How many people lost their jobs for an app on your iPhone? And this speed will continue. Technology will still steal a lot of jobs, and the competition for the job market is gonna be harder, I think. So for you to compete in a very hard market in terms of technology against employment, I think the only solution is finding really your passion, find your true vocation, as we said. So don't be afraid of trying things as younger as possible. But secondly, start thinking about your future before, especially for us Latins that wait a little bit to take decisions. Decisions now can make a big difference in the future.
Thank you. Agustin, I don't know if you want to add something. You as a former student who had the experience, do you want to add something?
Honestly, nothing. I think these 4 wise people said everything right out of my mouth. But just to summarize, from my experience, I'm talking. I began to prepare 3 years before I started university, and I think that's the big time, because you get to try things and fail. Don't see failure as something bad; it's the opposite. It's something good. I said this from Olympias because I really like developing my problem solving, which is the thing that people look at universities for science. And I tried once and I didn't make it. I tried again and I didn't make it. And I tried new things. I broke the rules. I like to say by exploring new things that people didn't see as conventional when I prepared for Olympiads, and took part in competitions as well. Just things that people would say, "Oh, you're doing chemistry. Why are you doing this?" I like to try it, and I think that's something that everybody should bear in mind. Just try new things. Break the rules if you want to. Be creative. Again, you are young, so you can just do whatever you want. As long as you see that you grew from that experience, you definitely didn't waste your time. That's all for me.
Wow, so much wisdom in your words. I am so happy that we had this time together and that all of you were able to be here today, because I think that what we have discussed today is really, really important. And I really hope that we can help a lot of students and parents, no? So, well, now it's time to say goodbye. I want to thank you all for your time, for everything that you have shared with us today. And also, if I'm speaking to students and parents, if you have any questions or want to know more about what we have discussed today, please don't hesitate and contact us. We are the Hey team, and we can also make maybe a meeting with each of the experts that you saw here today. You can contact us in our email. Our email is academic@gled.co, or you can enter our website. We will put all of the details in the YouTube channel. So we want to let you know that we are here for you. And as my colleagues were saying, this last year was a complicated year, no? A lot of students put their dreams in pause because they didn't know what to do because of the pandemic. I think now is a time to start planning again, taking decisions. If you want and you can travel this year, you can do it, no? Or start planning for the next year or the year after that, but don't leave your dreams because of the current situation, no? Continue planning and know that there are several options that there can be here for you. Maybe you cannot go for the 2 or 3 years of high school, but maybe 1 semester. Whatever kind of program you can take abroad, it will help. And it's like a snowball, no? Once you start with these kind of programs, you want to stay longer and prepare better. Your mind opens, and then there's like Agustin, he's now at the moon, so the sky is the limit, no? So don't stop dreaming, and we are here for you, no? So I would just switch a little bit into Spanish just to say goodbye. Quiero agradecerles a todos por su tiempo el día de hoy. Creo que fue una plática muy completa, muy rica. Esperamos que esa información les sirva a todos, estudiantes y padres, para tomar mejores decisiones. Sabemos que fue un año complicado el año pasado, pero pues recuerden que estamos aquí por si están retomando sus planes, si quieren que su hijo o hija viaje este año, hay posibilidades, sino para planear para el próximo. La idea es que pues sepan que estamos aquí para ustedes y también darles información que les ayude a tomar mejores decisiones para el futuro de sus hijos, ¿no? Pues hoy fue el día número 1 del Hey Week. Mañana tenemos una segunda sesión donde continuaremos hablando de la educación en el extranjero. Y el tema de mañana es, el mundo no se detiene, tu educación tampoco. Entonces, pues los esperamos ahí también mañana. Y agradezco a todos los presentes por su tiempo, a todos los que nos vieron, a todos los ponentes del día de hoy, a todos muchas gracias. Y estamos en contacto. Que tengan muy linda tarde. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Gracias, muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, amigo.
¿Estás buscando algún programa de estudios, pero debido a la pandemia estás postergando tu plan? Te informamos que GLED y Asiscard cuentan con el mejor servicio de asistencia para protegerte durante tu viaje. Así que no lo pienses más y contrata ya.